I hope you guys are doing extremely well. So let's continue with this video. In this video, we will learn about how we can integrate the Google sign-in. Social media sign-in is like very must these days for integrating in our apps, right? So how we can integrate the Google sign-in in Compose Multiplatform for all platforms. We will learn about that. Okay. So for the web, we will be using the Kotlin JS. It's still not supporting the VAST, the library which I am showing you. So Android, iOS, desktop, and Kotlin JS for web. Okay. So this is the pretty simple UI which I have already created. This is just a simple button basically, just a sign in button. Let me show running it. Meanwhile, it's running. Let me show you overview of this. So this is the library which we will be using. Kotlin Multiplatform Auth, a Kotlin Authentication library. Basically, I have created this library. Okay, this is for Kotlin Multiplatform Authentication. You can check out it on my GitHub profile. So I will show you how we can integrate Google Sign-in for all platforms. So let's continue with that. Okay, install is successful. So this is just simple UI as of now. On the click of this button, we will be showing here username and sign out option. Okay. So first of all, I have assumed you have created the project, simple project from the kmp.jetbrains.com. From here, you can download project with all the source set, which source set you want to support. Okay. After you have downloaded the project, then we need to do few initial setups because this library yet not support wasm.js. So I commented out that section. Okay, you need to do this, and then you similarly you can just copy this same section for wasm.js and add the JS section here. But just change this JS source set with IR. And after that, one more change we need to add, that is the this option, because JS canvas is experimental. We need to enable that. So after enabling this, third step is here in this source set. So you can rename these classes, etc. according to the JS. Okay. Then in this index JS, we need to make one change. So if you see in the Wasm JS, it's like it's just using the compose app.js and that is inside the head. But in the JS, I tried that it does not work. Maybe some issues with there. So the way of implementation in the JS is we need to add that compose JS inside the body here. Okay. And here we need to add this keycode.js. Then it will be working fine. So this is about adding this JS source set and removing the Wasm JS. After all this is done, then we need to make sure you have created one project in the Firebase. Okay. After you have created one project in the Firebase, then in that project, suppose I have already created this project. In this project, I need to app our we need to Android iOS app and web app. Okay. Android, iOS and web. So let me add the Android one. So this I will be showing you quickly. So what is the package name? If you go, let's copy this. Okay. And register the app. Next. Then as of now we are not downloading. I will show you what setup we need to do. Continue to console. So now you'll have to check one thing. In the authentication section, we need to check sign in method if Google sign in is enabled or not. So this is already enabled in my case, but in your case, you may find it like this. It is not enabled. If you see, so then you have to add new provider. Then you need to enable this. Okay, from here like this. Suppose we are enabling the Facebook like this, you need to enable that. This requires these two things as well. So I'm skipping this. Okay, so this one I'm enabling it again. So I was just showing how we can do that. So after this is enabled. Okay, done. Okay, and now what we need to do in the project settings. So here we have added that app. So here we will be going to that added app, this one, and then we will be downloading this. Yeah, even before downloading this, we need to add the SHA fingerprints as well. Okay, make sure you have added that. So in my case, I will be copying it from some other project where I have already added it like this. But in your case, I will show you how you can add that. So this is currently for debug build, but for if you want to run it for the release build, you need to add it for release build as well. This SHA. So we can run one command. This one, gradlu sign in signing report. It will show you debug SHA. If you see, you can copy this and use that. Okay. And after this, we can download Google Services JSON and put it inside a Compose app. Okay. Okay. Done. Now just rename it because we need to name it like this. This is done for Android. Now we need to make few changes. Few setup for iOS as well. Similarly, we need to add iOS app as well. You see, you can add the iOS app. For the iOS app, you need to find the bundle ID that you can find here. Okay. Register app. If your app is published on App Store, you can add that ID as well here. Next, next, next. Done. Now you can go here and download this Google Services info. Okay. And that we need to add here inside the iOS app. Then again, iOS app here. Here we need to add that. Okay. Cool. Let's rename it. Okay. And one more thing. So if you go here, Google Sign In iOS, we need to add this Google Sign In package as well. Yeah. Swift Package Manager. This is from this link in the Xcode. After opening your project in Xcode, make sure in the project iOS app package dependencies you have added that package. This one, add package. It's done. Let's it let it finish. And this is about this setup. And finally, we need to add one more thing. If you go here, we need to copy this section and add it inside the info.plist. Okay. So here it will be your iOS client ID. Here we need to add your iOS client ID that you can get from here. Anyway, for the sake of this video, I'm showing you these secrets as well. But yeah, I will be immediately disabling this. Then you have reversed client ID. Client ID in the reverse order. You can copy them from okay your Google Services info plist file. This is also done. This is the setup for iOS. Currently, we are working on the Firebase setup. Now, one more thing is we need to add the web app as well. That's pretty easy. Okay, that is also done. Okay. Now, one more thing. So, after you are creating the project from the Firebase, so then it will create. You need to search this auth auth clients. So, from here we can go there. You need to go Google API console. I will add this link as well in the description. So here we need to select that project, make sure that project is selected. So for that project, it will automatically add Google clients for you for auth clients. If you see in the credentials, if you see it automatically created. So these one are for another project I have created. For this project as well, it have created some clients. Okay. If you see Google sign in CMP private, this is for iOS, Android, and web. Okay. These clients is automatically created for that. So now what we need to do is we need to copy this client ID, web client ID. Okay. And maybe we can create one constants file, add those clients there. Okay. And one more thing which we need to do is inside the web client ID here in the redirect URI, if we are using the localhost 8080, we need to enable that. Otherwise, it will be showing you error while signing in. Similarly, for the desktop setup as well, we need to do one thing. We need to add one callback URL that is at the same. This is the redirect URL. Okay. So let me come again. So this is the basically JavaScript script origin. Which origin you want to authorized, but this is for the redirect URI. If in case we need to redirect user to some URL, that is this URL. This will be needed for desktop. Okay. If you are not using desktop, you can skip this thing, redirect URI. This one you will have to add for web. So, and now what we need to do is from this same web client, we need to use client secret as well. This one we will be using for desktop. This is the few setup for the Firebase basically. Now what we need to do is let's add this library. If you see, we need to pick up this. So there are two versions I will showing you. If you like directly want to use Google sign in button, or if you want to use just simple logic, your own custom logic with your own UI. So if you don't want to use the built-in Google sign in button, which I have built in this library, then you can just use the Kmouth Google. Otherwise, you can pick up this Kmouth Google Compose. It will provide Google sign in button directly, and you just need to use that button. That part we will cover later on, but here we will be using the simple logic from this. Let's sync it. Okay, full syncing is done. So now let's do one thing. Let's create one login view model. Okay, let's extend view model, and let's do one sealed class as well for state. Is processing. I think we don't need that. Yeah, we can use that. We can add that if needed. But here we will not be using that. For here, we will be user. I'm using the string type, but you can create one class, data class for user, picking up the username, ID, multiple fields. But here I'm just picking up the name. Okay. And here I will be needed Google Auth Manager. This is from that library which we have added. Okay. My bad. This is the data class. We don't need CL class. Okay. Let's add simple method. Sign in with Google. Okay. And again, we will be using here simple things. We ideally do using the viewModel.scope. Sorry, viewModelScope.launch. And here we can just use the try catch in case we can have some exception. Okay. I am not using any logging library, so just printing stack trace. Okay. And here we are doing our logic. So what we need to do is Google Auth Manager dot we need to use this sign in. It will provide you in the result. Last parameter is it's on sign in result callback. Okay. So if error is equal to null and it means we can get the user login is successful. We can get name from it. So this will provide you KMauth user class. Okay, if you go here, you see these fields will be provided from the library after logging in. You can check them out. There are simple things, email, name, whatever options will be available there, it will be providing you. And what we can do is we can update the user. We can call the update it dot copy user is equal to we don't need. It's working fine. Picking. Okay. And what we need to do in else part. We can print error as well here. Print stack trace and we can update error dot message. And similarly, in case of this as well, we can add this. Okay. So now let's try to use that here. So one thing now which we need to make sure of is we need to initialize KMauth initializer. Okay. And that part we need to do before using the Google Auth Manager. Before using this Google Auth Manager, you need to make sure if you are doing that in your main activity or right or even before the just this app calling this app from Android iOS native sites. So you can use either way. So for the Android, basically, first of all, we need to do one thing. For using the context, we need one setup before this app. We can use initializer dot init context. Platform context. Here we need to use pass the activity context. Okay. Basically, for doing this, there are multiple ways. We can initialize both. If you see init with context, we can in this we can pass web client ID as well and context as well. But I am initializing web client ID from the app common section for all platforms. That's why for Android part, we just need to do this specific thing. And after this, I will be showing you what else we need to do. Here, before doing everything, we need to call this init. And here we need to pass the web client ID, which we added in the app constant. Okay. This part is common for all platforms. That's why I'm using it inside the app. If you wish, you can do this from here as well using this method init with context. For other methods, oh sorry, for other platforms, you can directly just call this method where we don't need the context. iOS desktop, others. Okay, cool. And so basically, now let's get the login view model. Basically, you will be using the coin dependency injection for this. For the sake of this video, I'm not using that. And here you will be passing the Google Auth Manager that you can get using the Google Auth Manager. Okay. And this Google Auth Manager, sorry, Google View Model. From here, we will be collecting the state as well. That is pretty common thing in the Compose. Okay. So depending upon this state, this is the user which you are getting. So we can get it from the state dot value dot user. Okay. Depending upon this, I have applied some check. If this is null, it means user is not logged in. You'll be showing this button. If it is logged in, then we'll be showing its name and sign out option. Okay. On the sign in, we will be calling this. If you see callback on sign out, we are calling this callback. So here, what we need to do is login view model dot sign in with Google. And similarly, let's add one more method for sign out. So again, as this is the suspend method. So basically, this is a simple method which is accepting user ID as well for one use case that we will not be exploring here. You can just directly call it. Okay. And that's done. Let's try to run it. And so meanwhile it's running, we need to do one setup for desktop as well. Let me show that. So here initializer dot init client secret. So we need to initialize client secret here. Again, that we added in the web. Sorry, app constant. Okay. Run it for again. Android. So yeah, let's try to run it on Android. Now, if you see, this account is already logged in, so it will pick up that and it will log in with that. You see, it's working. Cool. And if you see now, I can sign out, but sign out didn't work. Let's see. Yeah, we forgot one thing. So we are doing sign out, but not updating the state. Okay. So let's make the user null again here. Okay, cool. And now sign out. Again, if we try sign in, it's working pretty fine. Okay. Now let's try to run on other platforms. iOS app. Because I'm already logged in. Otherwise, it will be asking you to log in first. So, yeah, it's working pretty fine. Sign out. If we try sign in again, it's working fine. Okay, cool. It's working for iOS as well. Now let's try to run it on web. UI is not looking good. But you can adjust that according to it. So if I click on this, it will show you this window first. Okay, it's working cool. Now, last option is we need to add configuration for desktop. Let's add the Gradle configuration and try to run it on desktop. Compose directly. So let's try to run it for desktop. If you see, it will open the link in the browser. We'll be using this. Continue and done. Authentication successful. You can close this window and return to the app. If you see, it's working pretty fine for all platforms. If you see, it's working pretty fine for all platforms. That's pretty cool. So that's about the Google sign in all platforms in Compose Multiplatform. Wasm Sport is not yet added. We will see if we can add it. So that's all about this video. And one more question is why I created this library. So basically, I was reusing this Google sign-in integration code in multiple apps. So that's why instead of reusing it at multiple apps, I thought of creating a library for this. That's why I created this library. So that instead of depending upon other library, we can update our own library as needed. Okay. There may be some other libraries already available for this. Yeah. But yeah, you can try this. It's pretty easy to use. And one more thing, if you directly want to use, you can try that one as well. If you don't want to add that logic in the view model or everywhere or like UI, you don't need to create yourself. You can just directly use the Google sign in button. But for that, first of all, you need to add this compose version of that library. So now if you go here, yeah, this is the Google sign in button. So not that much customizable as of now, but yeah, you can just pass the modifier according to your own choice, height, width, anything. Otherwise, it will pick up some default one. So if you see, it has on sign in result. So you can just use it like this. And on sign in result is providing you again KMOth user comma error like this. So here it will just returning you user directly here. Whatever you want to do with that user, you can do here. So if you see here, you can update dot name directly. Okay, here you can set it null. So you don't need that setup from the view model if you want to use it. But if you want to like make a clean architecture using the view model based on the MVVM architecture, it's pretty good to use without this Google sign in button as well. But this is just for the case if you don't want to create your own UI, just the one tap logic. Okay, if you see, and instead of this, we can show that UI as well. But for sign out, you can apply your own logic. But at least for Google sign in, you can try this logic. If you see, it will also be working pretty fine. It's already logged in, so it will be moving directly back to your app. But depending upon that, now you can show the user because we hide the code for that. If you see this one, okay, if I show you like this, so you can just remove this button and instead of that, you can add this button here. Okay, and if you try, maybe some bracket is less or more. Okay, let's see. Column. We commented out this button. Yeah, I think we commented out till wrong. Okay. If you see, yeah, now is that button only. It will be also working, signing in, and then so basically here we need to make user state then. Okay, like this mutable state of as of now null maybe. Okay, and now it will be picking up the changes. You see, it's working. Sign out, sign in. This button is not hiding. So maybe we are missing. Yeah, we added it outside that condition. Okay. So on sign out as well, we can update that. If you see here in this callback, we can update this. Okay. User equal to null. So now let's see. Yeah, yeah, working pretty fine. So this is the now inbuilt UI. If you want to use, you can use that as well instead of creating your own UI. Just a single change and just few state changes. Okay. This is about the inbuilt UI, and this is about without inbuilt UI, your without custom UI. If you don't want to use that button, you can just directly remove that dependency. Okay, and we can make undo these changes. And like this, I'm commenting it so that you can use it later this way as well if you want to use. But here we were using the state dot value dot use. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it and you learned an easy way to integrating a Google sign in your Compose Multiplatform app. And if you have enjoyed it, please like and share and subscribe. That will motivate me to create more videos on Kotlin Multiplatform, Kotlin, Android, Jetpack, Compose, Gator, backend. Okay, so that's all about this video. I will see you in another video with another cool content. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Have a great time. Keep coding.